got the Clair de Lune from scratch. Okay, let's move on. So if you remember, we are kind of starting a new musical sentence over here, right? Let's go on and continue that sentence with the next measure. Just go ahead and just kind of clean this up a little bit so that I can cut it out and give us a clean palette to work from. Okay, so let's go ahead and snip that. And we'll move on to the end of this next measure over here. Let's move that up out of the way so we can see our pedals. And just before I paste this in, if you don't mind, let's just review this one more time, right from here. Okay, it's a little messy, but if you recall from my last lesson, you understand why. 1 and 2, these two black keys, right hand, G flat, all together. Okay, so that's what we're coming from. All right, and let me just go ahead and paste the new measure over here. Actually, let's just go to a new portion. Let's make it a little bit neater. So let's do that. Let me just straighten this a little bit. Okay. So this is what we're coming from. Okay. So we had a 2 and a 1 here, and again, notice that we've got a tie connecting those two notes. So I'm going to go ahead and cross that out so I don't get confused. Okay. And now, interestingly enough, we get introduced to this new symbol over here. Okay. And if you haven't seen that before, that's another indication of where to play the notes. If you recall, let me just show you. Let me just go ahead and kind of clean this up a little bit. Now, if you recall, let's go up a little bit and take a look at this clef over here. This is what we call a G clef, so-called because it actually used to be an old-fashioned way of drawing a G. And that showed us where the note G was. 1, 2, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay? And so this note is, that clef, or that symbol, is used primarily for notes on the right side or the upper register of the keyboard. Okay? Now that we're coming down, excuse me, let's go down here. Now that we're seeing this symbol over here, this is conversely called another kind of clef. This is actually called an F clef. Okay? And this actually used to be an old-fashioned way of drawing an F, believe it or not, before it turned into something like that. Okay? And the F clef is interesting because, again, let me just draw it again here, just in detail. You're going to see that the little dot here indicates where the note F is going to be. And these two dots above and below are just kind of, again, kind of showing you around that F line. But this is where the F is going to be. And that F line is going to be the second line down. Okay, so to orient ourselves, the F clef is used to do that. Okay, so if we had the 3 black keys down here, A, okay, that was if we're going up to find the G, okay, we're going to go down to find this F, excuse me. This A that I'm playing right now is actually on the top line within the parameters of this clef. I'm sorry for drawing that there. I don't want to confuse everybody. So within the parameters of that new clef, which redefines where we're going, it's really meant for notes towards the left portion of the keyboard. Okay, so the A going backwards. Remember, we're going to reset our alphabet. G, and then going backwards, F. This F clef indicates where this F is over here. Okay, so knowing where this F is, we can then find the next remaining notes over here. F, G, A. That brings us to B over here. But remember, we only have 2 quote-unquote safe notes. That means notes without the rules that change them magically into flats. So that's going to become a B flat. Okay, that's a B flat over here. Continue counting up. There's a little mini line over here. And then that takes us to D over here. But again, D is not part of our safe note. So that's going to be a D flat as well. Okay, D flat. If you recall, we're resetting our hand position a bit. Okay, if here we're using a 1 and a 2. Okay, now this D, even though the notes look like they're far apart, because of this clef change, they're actually right next to each other. So this was an E flat and a C natural over here. Okay, this is actually right next door neighbor going down. So D flat and B flat are right next to that. Okay, so again, let's just go ahead and start over from here and show you where we're going. E flat and then D flat. Okay, see that? And now we're going to continue down. D flat, and this actually takes us to the very, see how this is on the space above that little mini line? This is on the line, which means that we're on a C. That's a safe note, so no black key here. Okay, and that B flat on the top space moves down to the line over here. If you recall, that's an A. And look at that symbol. Remember that symbol? This is called a natural. And that natural basically takes away any rules applied to it. So instead of an A flat, it becomes an A natural. So once again, let me just review very quickly these left-hand notes so you can see how that all progresses. E flat, D flat. Okay, now I'm going to continue on with a 2 and a 4 here, and then a 3 and a 5 here. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5. Okay, so you can see how that all connects. Just continue on. Okay, now let's add the right hand a little bit to this. This is going to be a review. We've already learned this portion here. Okay, we've run out of fingers. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this thumb over for the next note, and then again reset our hand into a new position over here for the next portion. Okay, so from this G flat, F, E, that's an E, E flat. Move your thumb over here. Okay, so the E flat down here, then this next measure, and we ended up on a second finger over here. Okay, we're just going to reset our hand and use a 3 to reset. That was an A flat. Moving down, that's a G, so G flat. So again, I'm going to start over here one more time so you can see how that transitions. Let's start over here, and you can see how I transition to the next portion, okay? Move over with your thumb over here. Reset your hand to a G flat. See how that works? And then if you look at the notes, it just ends up together like that. Okay, so that resetting of the hand kind of gets me prepared for the next kind of phraselet or little sentence portion without too much of a hesitation. So let's do the whole thing. Watch how I put my hands together. I can continue down here. I'm going to move my thumb over. And you notice that this thumb is already in the way. Got to get it out of the way. Reset my hand here. And then 3, 5, and then all together here. All right? One more time. Watch me how I do this. One last time, and I want you to watch the pedaling over here. Okay, ready? Okay? We'll talk more in depth about pedal techniques, but for now, give it your best shot, and then later on, I'll see if I can help you out a little bit more with that, okay? Very good. We're making great progress with this piece. I'll see you at the next lesson.